engineering thermodynamics. We'll start unit number 6. There are two parts in unit number 6. First is steam generator and second is boiler draught. Boiler draught is an integral part of steam generator, therefore this part is given in unit number 6 itself. In steam generator, we'll see classification, construction details of low pressure boiler and high pressure boiler, then location, construction, working principle, then boiler mounting accessories, instrumentation required, then efficiency, introduction to IBR, then boiler performance calculation of equivalent evaporation, boiler efficiency, heat balance sheet. Then in second part, boiler draught, will see classification, necessity of boiler draught, natural draught, determination of height of chimney, diameter of chimney, condition of maximum discharge, forced draught, induced draught, balanced draught, and draught losses. Okay, let's start unit number 6, introduction. You might have heard boiler. Now what is meant by boiler? The boiler is a device which is used to produce steam. Boiler is a device which is used to produce steam. Any device where water is boiled and that boiled water is converted into steam is called as a boiler. But condition is that it should be closed. It should be closed. It is not like a simple pot which is open and producing a steam. That is not a boiler. Boiler is a closed device. Boiler is a closed device. If you take an example of pressure cooker, the pressure cooker can be considered as a boiler because it is a closed vessel. In the closed vessel, if you pour the water and if the heat is supplied, by the gas stove itself, the water inside the pressure cooker boils and it produces a steam. Therefore, it can be considered as a steam generator. Thermal energy released by the combustion of fuel is a transfer to water which vaporizes and gets converted into steam at the desired temperature and pressure. Now, what process takes place in the boiler? We supply heat at consider our domestic application of a pressure cooker. We supply heat by using LPG gas. We burn LPG gas in the gas stove. That heat released by the fuel is a LPG gas. Heat released by the fuel is supplied to the pressure cooker and pressure cooker heats. It means increases the temperature of water inside the pressure cooker and which gets boiled and produces the steam. Similarly, in the power plant, in the furnace we supply fuel. In the power plant we supply fuel. Fuel is burnt and it releases the heat. That heat is taken up by the boiler. And boiler increases the temperature of water and it produces the steam. It converts water into steam. Okay, thermal energy released by the combustion of fuel. Generally in power plant we use coal, but there are oil fired and electric boilers are also available. In industry we use oil fired and electric boiler, but in most of the power plant it is a coal fired. The fuel is a coal. The thermal energy released by the combustion of fuel is transferred to water which vaporizes and gets converted into steam at a desired temperature and pressure. Boiler is a closed vessel. The condition is that it should be closed. The boiler is a closed vessel in which water is converted into steam by the application of heat. We need to supply heat to the boiler. That heat is transferred to the water. Water gets heated and water changes the phase from liquid state to vapor state, and the vapor state of a water is a steam, which is called as a water vapor. Usually boilers are coal fired, oil fired and electric boiler. In most of the industry, oil fired or electric boilers are used, but in the power plant it is a coal fired. It is called as a thermal power plant. Okay, where coal is used as a fuel, and water is converted into steam. It is called as a thermal power plant or a steam power plant or the coal fired power plant. The performance of boiler is measured in terms of evaporative capacity. Evaporative capacity means vaporization of a water into steam, vaporization of water into steam, means how much water is evaporated in the boiler. The capacity of the boiler means the evaporation capacity or the steam generation capacity of the boiler, means it is also called as the power of a boiler. We can say the power of a boiler is a capacity of a boiler to produce a steam. Now steam is produced in term of kg per hour or kg per kg of fuel or kg per hour per meter square area. It is defined as the amount of water evaporated. Evaporative capacity is defined as the amount of water evaporated. Amount of water evaporated, it means steam formed. It is defined as the amount of water evaporated or steam formed in kg per hour. Evaporative capacity can be measured in term of, can be denoted in term of kg per hour. It may also be expressed in kg per kg of fuel burnt, means how much fuel is produced by the combustion of 1 kg of fuel. Okay, or kg per hour per meter square, means how much kg of steam is produced in 1 hour in 1 square meter area, great area of heating surface, in 1 square meter heating surface area. Now application of steam, there are many applications of steam, and the steam produced is used for first producing mechanical work by expanding it in a steam engine or a steam turbine. Steam is supplied to the steam turbine which produces the electricity, that is the first application. Or the steam is supplied in the steam engine. Steam engine means locomotive, the train which works on the steam is called as a locomotive or the steam engine. The steam is supplied to the steam engine and it produces the work, means a displacement of a steam. Steam is used to move steam engines. Steam supplied to the steam turbine which generates the electricity. Second application, performing certain processes in sugar mill, chemical and textile industries. There are various industries which utilizes the steam for their different application. So, few applications are sugar mill, chemical and textile industries. These industries utilizes the steam for their various operations. Next application is heating the residential and industrial buildings. For space heating, heating the residential and industrial building, steam is also used. You might have seen in a gym or in a household application also we use a steamer for taking a steam. People when come back to home from their work, they get exhausted and for getting a relax, many people take steam. Okay, the steam is used in gym or in residential application for taking steam. Boiler should fulfill the following requirements, means whenever you go for purchasing boiler, you should check whether the boiler is fulfilling these following requirements or not. The good boiler should fulfill the following requirements. First is safety. Safety is the first and foremost important parameter. You might have seen in the news also, in various industry, many industry, the casualties happen because of the bursting of boiler due to improper operation. Therefore, repairing, maintenance and checking is very important in case of boiler. Therefore, safety is the first and foremost important. The boiler should be safe under operating condition. You need to check whether the boiler is operating under safety condition or whether it is operating under desired parameter. Accessibility. Accessibility means the various part of the boiler should be accessible to repair and maintenance. Means repairing and maintenance of the boiler should be possible. It is not like that if there is a fault in the boiler and you are going to replace the boiler. It should not be like that. If any one of the system of the boiler is not working properly, it is a fault in the boiler, then it need to be repaired or it should undergo maintenance. Okay, boiler consists of various parts like a furnace, then evaporator coil, heat exchangers, then superheaters, and many parts are there. If the tube of the boiler, if there is a fault in a tube of the boiler, it should undergo maintenance. It is not like you are replacing the boiler, whole boiler. Okay, now the capacity. The boiler should be capable of supplying steam according to the requirement. According to the requirement. Okay. In most of the power plant, boiler works with its 3/4 or half of the capacity. The boiler doesn't work or never work with its full capacity, because the full capacity is kept for its emergency requirement. Okay, in general operation of the general season, boiler work with its 3/4 or half of the capacity. But season like Diwali, where people use uh, consume lot of electricity, the production rate in the industry is very high, industry work with their overtimes, they in that case electricity requirement is very high. Therefore, the boiler should be capable of running with its full capacity, so that steam can be produced with very high rate and electricity can be generated according to the requirement. Okay, the capacity of the boiler should be like, if you want more steam, the boiler should be able to produce more steam immediately. Efficiency. Efficiency means output by input. Now, what is the output in this case? In this case, output is a steam generated and input is a heat supplied. Okay, therefore, steam generated by heat supplied is the efficiency. But when steam will be generated, when the boiler will absorb maximum amount of heat, then steam will be generated. Okay, the boiler should be capable to absorb maximum amount of heat which is released in the furnace. To permit efficient operation, the boiler should be able to absorb maximum amount of heat produced due to burning of fuel in the furnace. Suppose 10 kilowatt of 10 kilowatt of heat is generated in the furnace, but boiler is able to absorb only 8 kilowatt. Then 2 kilowatt is going waste. It should not be like that. Boiler should be able to absorb maximum capacity of heat, maximum amount of heat which is produced in the steam, if the which is produced in the furnace. If the furnace is producing 10 kilowatt, boiler should be able to absorb 10 kilowatt. Okay, then and only then the efficiency of the boiler should be high, will be high. Construction and maintenance, it should be simple in construction and its maintenance cost should be low. The construction of the boiler should not be very complicated, because if the construction is very complicated, it is very difficult for the repairing and maintenance of the boiler. Okay, therefore construction should be very simple. The engineer or the maintenance person can easily identify the fault if occurs in the boiler, and it can be repaired. Okay, and initial cost of the boiler should be low. The initial cost of the boiler should be low. The joints, the boiler should have no joints exposed to the flame. In the boiler there are n number of water tubes or the fire tubes. Okay, water tube or the fire tubes. If there is a joint in the tube, that joint should not be directly exposed to the flame. That joint should not be directly exposed to the flame, otherwise leakage can happen from the joint. Therefore, joint should not be directly in contact with the exposed flame. Starting and loading, the boiler should be capable of quick starting and loading. Now, what is meant by starting? When the boiler is start, initially furnace is start. In the furnace, fuel is supplied. In the furnace, fuel is supplied and fuel is burnt. Okay, when the fuel start burning, and from the start of burning of a fuel to its burning of a fuel with its full capacity is called as a starting, and loading means the generation of steam. From the starting to generation of steam at required working temperature and pressure, at required temperature and pressure, it's called as a loading. Loading means generation of steam at a required condition. Now, types of boiler, there are mainly two types of boiler according to the flow of water and hot gases. Hot gases means flue gases. First is water tube boiler and second is fire tube boiler. Fire tube boiler and water tube boiler are the main classification in case of boiler. Now what is water tube boiler and fire tube boiler? This is a water tube boiler and this is fire tube boiler. You can see in water tube boiler, water flows through the tubes, and water tubes are surrounded by the flue gases. Flue gases means the combustible gases. When the fuel burns, it produces a gas, and that gas is called as a flue gas or combustible gas. Water flows through the tubes, and tubes are surrounded by flue gas. It's called as a water tube boiler. The fire tube boiler, flue gases are flowing through the tube and it is surrounded by water. That is called a fire tube boiler. Now here you can see in the water tube boiler, these are the tubes. Through the tube water is flowing. Through the tube water is flowing, and these tubes are surrounded by the flue gases. Therefore, heating surface area is very large. If we want more steam to produce, we can increase the number of tubes. If the number of tubes is increased, the heating surface area increases, and as the heating surface area increases, the steam generation increases. Now in fire tube boiler, the flue gases formed during a combustion of a fuel in the furnace pass through the tubes, and these tubes are surrounded by the water. Here you can see quantity of water is very high. Here you can see quantity of water is a very high, therefore generation of steam is very low. Means suppose there is a immediate requirement of a steam, then fire tube boiler cannot meet the immediate requirement, whereas the water tube boiler can produce a steam at a very high rate. Now through the tube water is flowing, therefore there is a no chance of explosion of a tube. But in case of fire tube boiler, flue gases at very high temperature is flowing through the tube. Because of the overheating of a tube can burn. Tube can burn out. For the same steam generation capacity, the size of fire tube boiler is a very high as compared to water tube boiler, because generation capacity of water tube boiler is very high as compared to fire tube boiler. Fire tube boiler can generate steam at very slow rate. Therefore, we need a bigger boiler for generation of a steam similar to the water tube boiler. Now in water tube boiler, water circulates through the tube and hot product of combustion means flue gases flows over the tubes. Water flows through the tubes and hot product of combustion flows over the tubes. In fire tube boiler, the hot product of combustion passes through the tube which are surrounded by water. Hot products of combustion flows through the tube which are surrounded by water. In fire tube boiler have low initial cost and are more compact. Fire tube boiler have low initial cost and are more compact. Fire tube boiler are more likely to explosion. Fire tube boiler are more likely to explode because flue gases are flowing through the tube, and due to very high temperature of a flue gas, it can undergo bursting. Fire tube boilers are more likely to explosion. Water volume is large, and due to poor circulation, they cannot meet quickly the change in steam demand. You can see, look at here. The water volume is very high, and due to poor circulation of water, it cannot meet the change in steam demand. For the same output, the outer shell of a fire tube boiler is much larger than the water tube boiler. For the same output, for the same steam generation capacity, the outer shell of fire tube boiler is much larger than the water tube boiler. Water tube boiler requires less weight of metal for a given size. Requires less weight of metal for given size. Less liable to explosion, produces a higher pressure, are accessible and can respond quickly to change in steam demand. Water tube boiler is a less in weight, less in size, less liable to explosion, produces a steam at a higher pressure, and are accessible and can respond quickly to change in steam demand. Tubes and drum of water tube boiler are smaller than that of fire tube boiler. Tubes of the water tube boiler are smaller than the fire tube boiler. Due to smaller size of a drum, higher pressure can be achieved. Water tube boiler requires lesser floor space as compared to fire tube boiler. The efficiency of water tube boiler is more since the steam generation capacity is more. Now, other classification of water tube boiler. First, horizontal straight tube boiler. Horizontal straight tube boiler are further classified as longitudinal drum, cross drum. Second, bent tube boiler. Bent tube boilers are further classified as two drum, three drum, low head three drum, four drum. Then third is cyclone fired boiler. The various advantages of water tube boilers are: first, it can generate steam at a very high pressure of order 140 kg per centimeter square. 140 kg per centimeter square means approximately 137 bar. The heating surface is large, therefore steam can be generated easily. Large heating surface can be obtained by the use of large number of tubes. Because of high movement of water in the tube, the rate of heat transfer becomes large, resulting into greater efficiency. Now, fire tube boiler. Fire tube boilers are classified as external furnace, further classified as horizontal return tubular, short fire box, compact. Second, internal furnace. Horizontal internal furnace is further classified as horizontal tubular, short fire box, locomotive, compact, Scotch. The internal furnace further classified as vertical tubular, and vertical tubular further classified as straight vertical shell, vertical tube. Cochrane is a boiler which is vertical shell, horizontal tube boiler. Now the various advantages of fire tube boiler. There are very less advantages of fire tube boiler. First is low cost and second is a compact. It is compact in size. Classification of boiler. We are looking for other classification. Before this, we have seen classification of water tube and fire tube. Now we'll see other classification. According to position of furnace, internally fired and externally fired. According to the position of furnace, internally fired and externally fired. Internally fired. In internally fired boiler, the grate and combustion chamber are enclosed within the boiler shell. In internally fired boiler, grate and combustion is an integral part of a boiler. It is not separated. Therefore, grate and combustion chamber are enclosed in the boiler shell itself. Then externally fired boiler. In externally fired boiler, grate and combustion chamber, or we can say furnace and grate, are separated from the boiler shell. Boiler shell is a different part and furnace is a different part. It is separated. The flue gas generated in the furnace is transferred to the boiler shell. Boiler shell is a different part and furnace is a different part. It is called as externally fired. Now classification of boiler includes according to the position of principal axis: vertical, horizontal and inclined. The boilers can be vertical, horizontal, inclined. Then according to the application: stationary boiler, mobile boiler. Stationary boiler means the boiler which is used in industry or the power plant. The boiler used in industry is called as a captive power plant, and power plants are it's called as the power plant which generates electricity for for selling it. It's called as a utility power plant. And the captive power plant is a power plant uh, the power plant which utilizes electricity in their own industry or for their own use. Now the mobile boilers are marine and locomotive. Locomotive is a steam train. It's a steam train, or we can say steam engine. And the marine application is the boiler used in the ships. According to the circulation of water, natural circulation and forced circulation. Natural circulation means circulation of water takes place naturally by the virtue of its temperature or density difference. When the water is heated, hot water has a less density, therefore hot water moves in the upward direction and cold water moves in the downward direction. It is called as natural circulation. for circulation, in forced circulation, pump is used for the circulation of water according to a steam pressure, low pressure, medium pressure and high pressure boiler. Then simple vertical boiler. You can see it is a simple vertical boiler. Simple vertical boiler consists of a cylindrical drum and inside which there is a cylindrical furnace. The lower portion of furnace, here you can see ash pit. Ash pit is an area where ash is collected. It is a grate. The lower portion of the furnace is a grate. Grate is a net type structure on which a fuel is supplied. When the fuel is burnt in the furnace, normally fuel is a coal. When the coal is burnt in the furnace, the residue of a coal is a ash. That ash is collected in the ash pit. That ash is collected in the ash pit, and that ash is removed manually from the ash pit continuously. Okay, this portion is a grate. Grate is a net type of structure on which fuel is supplied. Fuel here, coal is supplied. Coal is supplied from the fire door. So coal is supplied from the fire door manually. When the fuel burnt, it produces the flue gas, and flue gases, this arrow represents the flue gas. Flue gas moves in the upward direction. When the flue gas moves in the upward direction, it hits the water which is kept between the furnace and the outer boiler shell. Now here there is a fire hole. From the fire hole, fuel is supplied. This is a grate. This is a feed check valve. Feed check valve is used to supply water in the boiler. When the water is get heated and converted into steam, the water level decreases. As the water level decreases, feed check valve is supplies water in the boiler to maintain the level of water in the boiler. Now level of water in the boiler is checked with the help of water gauge or water level indicator. Water level indicator is provided in the boiler at the lateral side. The one pipe of a water level indicator is in the water area, other pipe is in the steam area. And this water level indicator is made up of a glass so that we can easily identify the level of water in the boiler. Now, two or more cross tubes are provided. Two or more cross tubes are provided in the boiler to increase the heating surface, and for cleaning of these cross tubes, hand holes are provided. Hand holes are provided in each cross tubes. Cross tubes are used to increase the heating surface. If the heating surface area increases, production of steam will be high. This is the water level, and above the water, this white space is a steam space. The steam is collected over here, and this is a crown. On the crown, the mountings are provided. Water level indicator is also a mounting. This is a pressure gauge. Pressure gauge is provided for checking the pressure. Steam stop valve is used to supply the steam to the application area. If the steam is required to supply to the turbine, the steam stop valve will be open, and this steam will be supplied to the turbine at required temperature and pressure. Then safety valves are provided. Safety valves are provided for preventing the boiler, preventing boiler from the bursting. Suppose the pressure of a water inside the boiler is beyond the working pressure. In that case, safety valve will open and it will allow excess steam to live in the atmosphere so that pressure inside the boiler can be maintained in the working pressure. Then fusible plug is provided here. Fusible plug is provided. Suppose the safety valves are not working, or the water level inside the boiler is very less and temperature of the boiler is increased beyond its capacity, then fusible plug will melt, and it will create opening for water to enter in the furnace, and the combustion will be extinguished. The flue gases produced in the combustion flows in the upward direction and pass through the atmosphere through the chimney. where the combustion takes place is called as a combustion chamber or the firebox. It consists of cylindrical shell. It consists of a cylindrical shell. Look at here, this is a cylindrical shell. The greater portion of it is full of water and the remaining is a steam space. The maximum portion of this cylinder is a full of water and remaining portion is a steam space. At the bottom of firebox, at the bottom of firebox, the grate on which fuel is burnt and the ash from it fall in the ash pit. At the bottom of firebox there is a there is a grate. Due to combustion of a coal, the residue of a coal is ash which is collected in the ash pit. A simple vertical boiler is self-contained and can be easily transported. It is a very small and it can be transported very easily. The construction of simple vertical boiler. It consists of cylindrical shell surrounded by the vertical firebox. It consists of a cylindrical shell surrounded by vertical firebox. It is surrounded by vertical firebox. Firebox is slightly tapered towards the top of the shell to allow ready passage of a steam to surface. At the bottom of the firebox there is a grate. The firebox is a tapered toward the top of the firebox. At the bottom of the firebox there is a grate. The firebox is fitted with a two or more inclined cross tubes. In this figure there are two cross tubes are shown, but there can be more cross tubes to increase the surface area, heating surface area. These tubes are used to increase the heating surface of simple vertical boiler and also increase the water circulation. At the top of the firebox there is a stack. At the top of the firebox there is a stack. This chimney is also called as a stack, which is used for natural draught. Now what is meant by draught? Draught is a pressure difference uh, between the flue gases inside the boiler and cold air outside the boiler. The pressure difference between hot or the flue gases in the furnace and outside the boiler. That pressure difference produces a draught, or that pressure difference leads to move flue gas in the upward direction because of the density difference. A manhole is also available at the top of the shell for man to enter in the boiler for cleaning and maintenance. Look at here, this is a manhole. Manhole is provided at the top of the boiler for cleaning and maintenance purpose. Hand holes are provided at the end of the cross tubes for cleaning the cross tubes. The mud hole is provided at the bottom of the shell to remove the mud that settle down. Look at here, the feed check valve is provided. The mud hole is also provided at the bottom of the shell to remove the mud that settle down. Here, mud hole is not visible here, but mud hole is also provided, which is also called as blow off cock. Blow off cock is provided to remove the mud and sediment impurities which is collected at the bottom of the boiler. The space between the boiler shell and the firebox is filled with the water to be heated. The space between cylindrical tube, cylindrical shell and the firebox is filled with the water. A water level indicator is also provided to see the water level inside the boiler. This is a water level, it's provided to see the water level inside the boiler. The pressure gauge safety valve, air vent valve and steam safety valves are also installed there at the top of the crown. At the top of the crown, pressure gauge, safety valve, steam stop valve, safety valves are provided for the proper working of a boiler. Now working of simple vertical boiler, the fuel is fed into the grate through the fire hole. From the fire hole, fuel is fed into the grate. The ash pit used to collect the ash from the burning fuel, which is located at the bottom of a grate. The ash pit is located here, which collects the ash formed during a combustion. The boiler diameter is normally 3.92 feet, 3.9 to 5 feet. The boiler diameter is normally 3.5 to 3.9 to 5 feet, and its height is approximately 9 feet. Each cross tubes have the diameter of 9 inches, and cross tubes are having a diameter of 9 inch. The boiler heating surface is 80 feet. The boiler heating surface is 80 feet. This is 80 feet. 80 feet square, and its grate area is 8.4 feet square. The grate is a circular. Grate is a circular and its area is 8.4 square feet. The boiler pressure is 100 psi pounds per square inch and it is approximately 7 bar. So it can produce steam at a pressure of 7 bar approximately. The combustion gas flows from the furnace to pass around the tubes. These gases escape to the atmosphere through the chimney. These combustible gases flows in the upward direction and exhausted to the atmosphere through the stack or chimney. Due to natural circulation of hot gas moves from the lower end to higher end, supplies of steam supply of steam is then regulated through the stop valve. Flue gases moves naturally by the natural draught. Steam is supplied to the uh, application area with the help of steam stop valve. Steam stop valve supplies the steam to the application area.